Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Zoe Astro. I'm Zoe and you can also find me at www.astrozo.com. We're here today to talk about the energy of Virgo as the sun goes into Virgo and highlights that part of ourselves. So first of all, the whole zodiac is all existent inside of us, and certain astrological aspects outside can actually trigger what's already in us and bring it out to the fore. So when the sun goes through a sign, it highlights those parts of ourselves and we generally feel more in that flavour. So what is Virgo? Well, Virgo is often limited down to being critical and analytical and perfectionist, and that seems so unfair. It's often said of that sign, but these people have a lot more to them than that, and it doesn't make any sense at all until we put the zodiac back as an agricultural calendar. So agriculturally, Virgo is to do with the harvest. So yes, they can be perfectionist and productive and all those things, but it's only in view of the fact that there was a very short window of time to get the harvest in. Everybody had to work together, hence the teamwork of Virgo. Everybody had to be productive and precise and get the job done in order to survive through to the next year with enough food. Virgos are very environmentally friendly. They know how to make herbal remedies and medicines and things like that. Often they're in the realms of food or massage or herbalism, because once the harvest's brought in, it needs to be made into storage, into medicine, and then allocated fairly amongst the village, as it were. So there are those precisional skills, but it's very much with working with the natural cycles. And if we take Virgo out of the natural cycle, then it just doesn't make any sense at all. So Virgos are nature loving, caring. They enjoy being part of the team, getting the job done, but it's all with a higher perspective. They're the higher aspect of Mercury. Gemini is the more processing mind, but Virgo is, I can see the cycles of time. I can see with perspective what needs to be done and when, in order that we can actually go forward as a group. So there's a higher perspective that comes through with that Mercury ruling Virgo, and they can see that we are part of a big symphony of cycles within cycles within cycles, and what needs to be done when, in order to have the most productive and harmonious lives. So when the sun goes through Virgo, we can bring out that side of ourselves. For me, it's always been interesting that this is the beginning of the school year, because we literally step up a year and go back to work and actually plan what we want to achieve for the next year. And there's that productivity, there's that seriousness. I've got to, after the lovely lazy month of Leo, I've got to actually apply myself now and figure out where I'm heading in the next cycle. So that back to school feel is always quite wonderful, just as we come up to the Virgo and the equinox. So Virgo calls us through to the equinox, and it's beginning to have hints of turning inwards as the months get less sunny and the days get shorter, the nights draw in. So we're heading towards the equinox, which is the marker between Virgo and Libra. And it's where the nights are equal. That's what equinox means. But in our states of consciousness, we're naturally drawing in a bit. We're getting more serious, we're getting more long view. What do I want to achieve? We get more internal, both in ourselves and in our activities indoors. And we start to take up new challenges that will see us through the winter, that will light the way, and that will actually reap harvest rewards this time next year. So it's a very good month to be productive and to join in with all that beautiful, abundant Virgo energy and make the most of your time. Every month there is a new moon and a full moon. That's what a month is. It's a whole lunar cycle. And what we have this month and every year, when the moon is full, the sun's in Virgo, the moon will be opposite in Pisces. A full moon is when the moon is opposite the sun. So on the 31st of August we have a full moon in Pisces. This often brings a couple of days of tension, really, because when the moon is opposite, there's a feeling of a tug of war. There's a feeling of emotions coming up from underneath, out of nowhere almost. So where the Virgo sun will see us being logical and practical, all of a sudden, bang, there's a full moon in Pisces, which will bring up the less rational, the more right brain, the more intuitive, the more emotional, for cleansing. So it's always an interesting time of year because the moon opposing the sun brings this 2 to 3 day growing pressure, things coming up that need to be sorted out. That's exactly the opposite energy of what the sun's urging us to do on the outside. This moon looks particularly strong because it's aligned well with Neptune and Chiron, and it's in Pisces, so we're dealing with 4 very strong water aspects there. And I'm feeling the use of rosemary oil for meditation or clarity, because rosemary actually means mist of the sea and works very well with the crown chakra. So to have Neptune, the moon, Chiron, which is healing, all in the watery realms of the subconscious and Pisces, this seems like a wonderful night for a walk by water or a ritual bath or a meditation. And I totally recommend the use of rosemary oil, or as a crystal maybe selenite, which is also a very, very high and beautiful vibration. So that's the full moon in Pisces. Then 2 weeks later the moon has moved round to be with the sun, so the moon is in the same sign as the sun at the time of the new moon, and this is a new moon in Virgo. This will really kickstart the activity, because on September the 16th it opens up a 2-week window of very super productive energy in that Virgo, just as we're heading back to school and towards the equinox, and there's a number of other planetary aspects going on at that time. So that's a great time to initiate new plans for the year, to get organised. There'll be probably quite a bit of list writing going on at this time, prioritising as well. We've got that vision of the Virgo. We can actually see what's important and what's going to lead to something. So a beautiful 2-week window of high productive activity on the 16th of September. So maybe at the full moon on the 31st of August, it's a good time to let go of anything that's getting in your way or holding you back, so that you're free to fly on the Virgo wings at the new moon. So that's it for this month. I'll be back with Libra next month. Have a wonderful month of Virgo.